Welcome to this topic which we were discussing about the dispersion of light. You have seen that when white light get incident on any of the corresponding rectangular sides of the prism, white light get split into 7 component colors. It is the ability of the prism to split the white light into 7 component colors. These 7 component colors get arranged according to the decreasing order of their wavelengths from red to violet. All these 7 components are arranged red to violet, or if we express them in reverse order, then from violet to red, the 7 colors are represented by a short acronym taking first letter of the 7 colors, that is VIVGYOR, VIVGYOR. Actually, the spectrum of white light was first observed by experimentally by Sir Isaac Newton. Newton showed experimentally and verified that when light get incident on the rectangular surface of the prism obliquely, then after refraction through the prism, the white light get dispersed, means their component colors get separated from each other according to their wavelengths or the velocity. Higher the velocity of the component colors, least the angle of deviation, and lower the velocity, larger the deviation. So red light gets deviated least and the violet colors get deviated the most, and other colors get arranged themselves between red and violet. When we observe this spectrum or receive this spectrum on a plain screen, means white screen or a plain paper, we get a well defined, very colorful spectrum in the form of set of 7 colors called visible spectrum or the light spectrum. Actually, Newton tried to prove that white light is composed of 7 basic colors, or these colors which are obtained by splitting through the prism. In order to prove it, he introduced a set of 2 prisms with the similar optic materials as well as the angle of prism. When these 2 prisms are set side by side in opposite direction, that is vertex angle of prism of 1 is opposite to the vertex angle of prism second. So when white light is allowed to pass through the first prism, it gets dispersed after passing through the prism. Now when the dispersed light, means a spectrum obtained by the first prism, is allowed to incident on the opposite face of the second prism, in which the vertical angle is opposite to each other, and when these different colors get incident on the second prism, they again combine together to form a single line, and it is obtained as a white spot on the screen placed behind the second prism. So when the light passing through the first prism get split up into 7 component colors, and these 7 component colors are when allowed to incident on the second prism placed inverted to the first, then the emergent ray coming out of the second prism gives only white light, and it is obtained as a white spot on the screen. So what information is obtained from this set of experiment? This indicates that when when deviation or dispersion of white light is obtained on the second prism, the second prism bends the different colors in opposite direction to the same extent, so they get converged at a common point, and that is the point of emergence of the prism, and all the 7 component colors get combined to form a white light. So this experiment shows that white light is composed of 7 basic colors, that is VIB, GYOR, violet, indigo, blue, violet, indigo, blue, green, orange, red, yellow, orange, red. So these 7 colors are the basic colors of white light, and this experiment shows that white light is made up of 7 basic component colors, although the wavelengths are very wide, that is from 4000 angstrom to 7800 angstrom. So approximately 4000 wavelengths are collected between these spectral range, that is visible spectrum. Now this experiment is also known as dispersion compensation. What do we mean by dispersion compensation? Dispersion compensation means whatever the extent of deviation of different component colors is performed by first prism get compensated by the second prism through bending the dispersed light in opposite direction through the same angle of deviation, and after that the deviation of the path of different colors by first prism is overcome or compensated by the second prism. That is why it is known as dispersion compensation. Now we will study about the different dispersion phenomena taking place in day-to-day life, which we observe naturally, like the formation of rainbow. The formation of rainbow is the phenomena of natural dispersion of light, white light. What is the rainbow? Rainbow is the visual, a spectrum, visual and visible, a spectrum of the sunlight falling on the fine water droplets present suspended in the atmosphere. The rainbow is obtained or is seen in the sky as a curved circular outline of the 7 component colors extended in the sky. It is not seen always. It is seen time and again, means during the rainy season only, and either prior to the rainfall or after the shower of the rain. When, as well as the rainbow is observed in the sky either before the noon or after the noon. The rainbow formation doesn't take place at midday. That is when the inclination of sunlight is perpendicular to the earth. Again, rainbow is always formed opposite to the direction of sun. Means during the morning we observe the rainbow in west direction, and during the evening we observe the rainbow in east direction. Why? Because when the water droplets are suspended in the sky and the sunlight, suppose that sun is in the east direction, then the sunlight falling from the sun to the water droplets, the dispersion of light takes place through the water droplets, and dispersed light will be observed in the west direction. Why? Because dispersion takes place by the fine droplets of water. Each water droplet acts as a tiny prism. Actually, rainbow is observed due to the process of various optical phenomena taking place simultaneously. How? When sunlight falls on a water droplets, what happens? First of all, sunlight enters into the water droplet. If we consider a single water droplet as a tiny prism, then first of all refraction of light takes place. So what is observed? Refraction of light. Light gets refracted first, as a result of which the light enters into the water droplet, and after entering the water droplet at an angle larger than the incident on the other opposite side, larger than the critical angle, what happens? Total internal reflection occurs. So as the light ray enters into the water droplet, it gets first dispersed into 7 component colors. First of all, it is refracted. Now refracted rays get dispersed, and these dispersed light tend to pass out of the water droplets in opposite side, but it doesn't happen at that point. Why? Because when the dispersed light get incident on the opposite side of the droplet at an angle larger than the critical angle, they get internally reflected, means that is due to the total internal reflection of the dispersed light. Dispersed light get reflected, not refracted, reflected from the opposite side, and these refracted dispersed light, when falls in the lower portion of the water droplet, they again get refracted, and these refracted rays, when pass out of the water droplets, they reach on the earth onto the eyes of the observer. So the observer is able to see the refracted rays, dispersed refracted rays, as a rainbow. So actually rainbow is not the result of white light, a dispersion of white light by single droplet. All the water droplets, tiny water droplets suspended in the sky, they all contribute to the formation of rainbow, dispersion of light. So the sum of the dispersion experienced by or performed by all the water droplets suspended in the sky appear as an arc in the sky, colorful arc, means arc forming the 7 component colors overlapping on each other. Means one color gets overlapped with other color in a succession, red to violet, red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, blue. So all these 7 colors get arranged from red to violet, means from higher wavelengths to the lower wavelengths. And we will see the different segments of rainbow, means this rainbow appears as a arc in the sky. This is due to the curvature of the earth. The arc shaped rainbow is due to the curvature of the earth. So, rainbow is a combined phenomena of refraction, dispersion, total internal reflection, and the refraction again by the fine water droplets. Now let us come to a study other optical phenomena which is related to the refraction of light. This is called refraction of light through atmosphere. The most common feature of this atmospheric refraction is the twinkling of stars. So let us try to understand the twinkling of stars. Twinkling of stars is the result of atmospheric refraction at different levels. We know that our atmosphere is extended from the surface of the earth to the higher altitude, more than thousands of kilometers, but the density of air is not uniform throughout the atmosphere. In the lower portion of the atmosphere, the density of air is greater, and as we go up in the sky, the air becomes rarer, more and more rare. So, when light coming from the sun or stars, coming from the distant stars, because stars are also considered as the miniature sun, from earth, actually real size of the stars are more or less similar to the sun, but since stars are located far distant as compared to the sun, the center of our solar system, so they appear very tiny lighted spot during night. But the twinkling of stars is supposed to be the result of atmospheric refraction. When light coming from the stars enter into the atmosphere, it passes through different layers having different optical density also. So the path of light get deviated at different levels from its original path, and ultimately the light reaching the observer's eyes is seen in a direction which can be produced in backward direction, and we will have a virtual image of the star. That is why the stars appear somewhat higher to that of the original position, as well as the different levels of deviation in the path of light of the stars produces sometimes enhance in the intensity of light, sometimes decrease in the intensity of light. So the fluctuations in the intensity of light coming through the atmosphere at different levels produces a flickering effect on the eyes, and we feel that stars are twinkling. So actually the twinkling of stars is the irregular deviation of the path of light from its original path, and the ultimate effect is due to the successive deviation of refracted light through the atmosphere, producing variable intensity on the eyes, and this is the reason of the twinkling of stars. Now it is commonly asked that planets do not twinkle. Why? We know that planets are much nearer to us as compared to stars, and the light coming from the planets also enter into the atmosphere. They also have to pass through the same length of path, but the virtual size of the planet appears larger than the stars, because planets are much nearer to us as compared to the stars. So each planet may be considered as the combination of large number of tiny lighted spots or the stars. So the light coming from the planets get deviated from their original path, and various tiny stars contribute the deviation of their path, and the ultimate effect of the different deviations from their paths compensate each other, and ultimately they produces the constant path of light reaching on our eyes. The variation of the intensity of light by one spot is compensated by another spot of the same planet. That is why they appear or they cancel the effect of each other's deviation, and they appear not twinkling. Means the flickering or the fluctuations in their intensity is not observed by us, and we feel that planets are not twinkling. So this is the reason, probably the deviation of path of light through the atmosphere, refracted light, reflection of light through the atmosphere, and this is the real cause of deviation of path through the atmosphere and results into the twinkling of stars and not twinkling of planets. Thank you very much.